Lincoln MKZ, 2012 MKZ. Pretty nice looking car. Just drove it last night about 60 miles. It seems to drive very well. Let's look under the hood if we can find the hood latch. Let's see the hood latch. Alright, there's the trunk. There's the hood. Pretty easy to find. That's nice. Ergonomic. A quick here. Okay, and it's popped. How do you get the thing to release? There it is. So, definitely front wheel drive vehicle. Sitting sideways here. Looks like a V6 size engine. 2012. Okay. Well, that doesn't tell you anything about the engine. 3.5 liter. There you are. 3.5 liter V6. Pretty packed in there, pretty tight. For what it is, it does tend to go pretty good. When you hit the gas on the corner, it'll spin. So it's pretty tight. Batteries in there. 520. That's what it looks like from the front. We're going to try to make a 3D of this. We'll see. Let's look at the inside. Here's what the door looks like. It's pretty nice. Here's what the interior looks like. One thing I have noticed is the seats are a little hard. I think this is aimed more towards performance. And the suspension is just a little hard for a very long trip. It would actually be somewhat hard, I think. The back seats, let's sit in. Here's the back seats. So that's what the front looks like. The dashboard looks nice. It sits nice, but it definitely doesn't envelop you. It's a harder seat. It's much harder. You hit it, a lot harder. You do have, that's nice. You got driving lights back in the back. That's interesting. Headrests. I don't see any vents, so actually the air conditioning has to come through the front. That's interesting for Lincoln. You would have thought they put vents to the back. So let's get in the car here. I turned down the fan. It's very gimmicky. When you look at this, it's very gimmicky. Okay. Turn down the buttons. Has all that kind of information there. 60/60. You can set different sides. Radio has Sirius. Turn the volume. Alright. Has your standard sunglass lights. Alright. Here's your dash. Again, in 3D it's going to be difficult to see, but turn that back off. So you got your tach and you got your MPH and your other gauges. Again, it's a very simple gauges though. You got temperature and you got fuel. That's it. You have information on the steering wheel. You have the thing that connects to your radio and the thing that sets your cruise control. You do have here, and let's go ahead and plug this in. You have a power outlet right there. You also have a power outlet right here, which I'm using. Nice little box to put stuff in, place to put drinks, CD player. Glove compartment, it's fairly big. You can adjust the vents like pretty much normal, right? What else you got here? That's really about it. I'll try to do a 0 to 60 sometime. So let's take a ride. So, last night when I was driving this, I was driving through Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Doing about 80 on average. Thing handles really nice. Actually, it drives very nice. I'll give it that. It drives almost like a sports sedan is what I think they were going for here. It is, again, a V6 front-wheel drive. When you hit it, it handles like a V6 front-wheel drive. Okay, so it's not your old-style Lincoln burning out the back tires. Okay, it's the new style front-wheel drive. You can sort of feel it in the steering too. Has a little bit of torque steer when you really punch it. So be aware of that. That it's not. Again, it's not a. Actually, I'll just keep going. It is not a rear-wheel drive vehicle. I do think that they were aiming for performance here. Again, it handles very nicely. This is just pretty much an industrial area here. Nobody's around. So let's see. Got to high revs and shut down the engine. But it does have enough torque to spin them tires, which is interesting. Just from a dead stop. Let's do that again. Release. That sounds abandoned to me. So let's make sure nobody's around. So you can almost get to 60. That was 50 right there. And that's pretty quick. Actually, it actually has a decent amount of power here. Let's since nobody's around, Comcast. It's Comcast ahead of us. See the brakes do. Wow. Good brakes. Can't do this too much. I'll have to go someplace else pretty soon. So how about a dead stop straight up? Load it out. Lockheed Martin, just for lease. There's nobody here. Oh, maybe this whole thing isn't for lease. I better get out here before the police come. So it handles pretty good. Again, it seems like more of a sports sedan, front-wheel drive for sports sedan. Radio works good, like I was pointing out. Satellite radio. Alright, so here is where I should. Another for lease. Man, there's a lot of for lease around here. Well, I guess everywhere else, just like everywhere else. For lease right there. For lease. Oh yeah, private sector is doing great. I don't think so. All these multi-million-dollar buildings. For lease, for lease, for lease. Yeah, doing great. There's another for lease right there. Just in this back side, there's like, so what? That's the fifth one. There's another one right up there. Sixth, seventh, right there. They're all for lease. Somebody come back to reality because they don't seem to have it. In fact, this one was taken over by a church because it was so cheap. There's another for lease right there. Another for lease right there. Like I said, it handles pretty good. It's definitely the front-wheel drive, but it handles good. I mean, it just like grips the road real well. Like I said, the only thing I would say is this is in a long trip. I think you might have an issue with this car. It's a little bit stiff in the seats. I mean, they're comfortable enough, but they're hard. So their shape is good, but they don't they're not plush. They don't sink you in. So in a long trip, you might get more tired quicker. The suspension's okay, but it's again more tuned towards performance. It seems like. So it's a nice looking car that's more of a sports sedan, front-wheel drive sports sedan is what I would say that this is. If you really like hiding things, you can hide your cup holders, and you have little doors down here to hide all your little holes, but for me, usually I have them all open to put my stuff in. I like lots of little holes. This is okay, it has a couple little holes to put stuff. Not as much as some cars. This one's more designed to be more of a clean look, probably a European type clean look. The front end is It's nice enough looking. It looks a little bit plastic. Yeah, that's okay. The car is, I mean, all cars pretty much look that way now. I don't know what, I'll have to look up what the cost of this car is. I have no idea. Being Lincoln, it's going to be more than a Ford, though. Right. Hello, we're in Daytona Beach. I'm not sure if she's crossing. She's staring at her phone. Who knows? I would wait, but she wasn't moving. So, this is where all the rich people come to play, I guess. I was sort of looking for a Cuban restaurant. The only ones that you can find near me are around here. Phone turned off. Macy's. Little horse carts. All kinds of touristy BS. Maybe I shouldn't come down here. Yeah, I hate touristy stuff. Tutti frutti. Seems appropriate. Okay, it's a four-way stop, not park. What the hell's wrong with you people? Just trying to get through this. Maybe I turned the wrong street. It's going where I need to go, but it's not going. Because people can't move! Yeah. Go. Oh, come on, lady. Learn to freaking drive. You start going. Oh, good blinker. You don't like it, I just keep going. Ta-da. Be a little bit pushy, otherwise the people will never stop. People just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. They never ever stop. Never been here. We've been to Daytona Beach before. We've never been to this part of it. Interesting. That's a big time ritzy poo-poo. Ritzy poo-poo. There's a park. Alright, 0 to 60. Alright, now this is 0 to 60. Wanted to test that again. One problem with this car, I would say, especially when you're in very hot, humid conditions, like Florida, when you really kick it in the face, it turns off the air conditioner. So when you do that, the air conditioning turns off. So we're at 20. Let's do a roll on. And 60. Alright. So that's not too bad. Power's okay, but again, you can feel when that air conditioning turns off. It's like, so realize that. I guess I would rather them leave the air conditioning on and not try to steal the power away from the air conditioning. The idea, I guess, is they were aiming more towards having this be a performance vehicle, in which case you're going to want to steal the power from the air conditioning and turn it off when you floor it. But you sure can tell that difference. What else have I noticed about this? I can't think of anything right offhand, to be honest. But, oh, this is probably my last video of this again. It's been pretty nice. On average, good air conditioning. On average, pretty comfortable. Okay. Basically testing this thing in the hot, and we'll compare it. It does seem to have a little bit less power when it's hot, which most cars do, unless you have a turbo. So there's nobody coming. What I'm going to do is we're going to slow down to a stop, and then we're going to do another 0 to 60. So there's 0. So there you go. There's a handful of 0 to 60s. Let's test this one more time just from inside. Hopefully I won't do anything dumb. We'll do one more time at the inside camera. So let's see. Do about twice what the recommended speed limit is. Cut it down a little bit. The brakes do fade, I noticed. You get going fast enough and it stops, but you do that once, then you can't do it again. You get one good real hard brake out of it before it loses its brakes. That's a bit of an issue, I think. If you have an engine that can do this and a suspension that can do this, I really think the brakes need to keep up with things. So, until they cool down, you really don't have much brakes. Let's watch. See, that's full brakes. See how long it took to stop? And of course, when you do that, you get a little bit of smoke and smelly in here. It just doesn't... I guess I'm surprised that the brakes fade so easily. So that's a bit of an issue, I think. If you're going to have a sports sedan, the brakes shouldn't fade that easy. Not after one brake. One hard brake shouldn't fade them. So, just be aware. If you're going to be racing something like racing this thing, you definitely need to be aware those brakes fade after one hard brake. Because racing, when you're doing racing, you get more than, you're going to probably have a lot more than one hard brake. Right? Generic driving, yeah, you get one hard brake. That's good enough. Racing, you're going to have a hard brake every time you hit a corner. The third corner, you're going to crash. So just be aware that that is an issue. If you were to buy this for racing, I would probably upgrade brakes to where they don't fade. Some kind of a, figure out what that means, you know, whether the carbon, whatever it takes. So I would not have raced this car without brakes that didn't fade. That made me nervous the first time I did it. So, alright, that's probably enough for now. Thanks for watching.